I have great concerns about a guy who is the face of the franchise at USC and came in here this season. I'm going to win 2 straight Heismans. That's all I heard about his camp.
On one hand, you have Justin Fields, who went through a tank year last year. This year, he ends up being injured, has come back, and he played very well, as we've documented, in the last game that the Bears played in a loss against the Lions. But there is a certain section of the fans that look at Justin Fields and say, you know what, just based on the handful of games we've seen, he should be the future because we just don't want to have to change quarterbacks again. We don't have to start from the beginning again at the quarterback position. We just want to have our franchise guy. For better or for worse, we just want to have a guy that we know versus someone we don't. I understand that philosophy. On the other end, there's Caleb Williams, and there's Drake May, and there's other quarterbacks that will be out there in the first and second round that the Bears could take a look at. But we know that the Bears more than likely will have 2 of the top 5 picks in this upcoming draft for 2024. And so ultimately the question is, Cap, it's the unknown versus the known quantity. If you could only choose one for the future, is it Justin Fields next year or is it Caleb Williams, the USC quarterback?
So I said to you and to Tom earlier, I cannot believe you'll have the number 1 pick back-to-back years and not take a quarterback. And that's not an indictment on Justin. I'm just speaking fact. You have been starving for quarterback play. I like Justin. Mm-hmm. You know I like Justin.
Yes.
He's also got some things that we have to see play out over the next, 7 games? What are we, 3 and 8?
3 and 8.
6 games to go. Got to see how this all plays out. The greatest thing in the world would be if Ryan Poles goes, I got conviction. Justin's the guy. I'm picking up the 5th-year option. We'll see how this goes next year in 24, and then we're going to open up negotiations. And he's right. Because then I can take Marvin Harrison with 1 pick. I could trade the other one to a quarterback-needy team, get a satchel of picks, maybe another one for next year in 25, and oh, baby, here we go. Just remember, if you don't get it right, if I'm your owner, I'm firing you. You've had the number 1 pick 2 straight years, and let's assume one of these guys is that guy. You will have left 2 generational quarterbacks on the board because you believed in Justin and he failed. That's the question that he has to look in the mirror and go, okay, I got to make this decision here. It's not easy. But that's, as Tommy said, to whom much is given, much is expected. So I can't answer it. I got to see the next 6 games play out. I do.
You can answer it.
No, I can't.
Right now, today, Caleb Williams' season is over.
I have great concerns about a guy who is the face of the franchise at USC and came in here this season. I'm going to win 2 straight Heismans. That's all I heard about his camp. 2 straight Heismans, and he's getting whatever it is, $4 million in NIL money. You're not a college student. You're a freaking pro. And last week, another epic loss, and guess what he said? I'm not talking to the media. Yeah, bring that stuff to an NFL market, and you'll get eviscerated. Who the hell do you think you are? And that would give me great pause if I ran an NFL team. You're coming to this market? This isn't Charlotte. This isn't some market where they got 4 people out there covering practice. We got 50 men and women every day up there. Podcasts and TV shows and everything else. And you're not talking because you got your feelings hurt because you lost again? No shot. That would give me very much concern about taking that guy number 1.
Well, for me, as a football fan, I always look at it from a production standpoint. Personality aside, you have to, again, through college football eyes, there is a slump there that's happening with Caleb Williams at quarterback. Mm-hmm. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean that carries over to the NFL. We're just saying that at USC right now, offensive line or bad defense on the other end for Caleb Williams. The point is, though, is I look at the production, and I just know that when the scouts look at him, everything's part of the evaluation. That's his personality, that's his production, and, when he's in peril, how does he come out of it? But to me, I just think that without all the stuff that's happening around him and his camp, he still will be the number 1 pick or one of the top picks in the draft, and you can't turn a blind eye to that. Now, again, as I told you a couple of weeks ago, watching Duke against North Carolina, I just love what I saw from Drake May. I've been watching him off and on all season, ACC football is not what I'm tuned into every week, as you well know, as an SEC guy, Big Ten. It's not like I'm watching them every week, but I saw that game from start to finish, and I thought there's some leadership there. There's some intangibles there I'd really like. And so I actually like a lot about this draft class than I did last year. Remember last year I told you, Cap, who's going to come out of here and be a star? I wasn't sure.
Right.
I had no idea what I was. And Che, we talked about it a lot. I didn't know C.J. Stroud was going to look like this, but it works. Perfect quarterback for the perfect system in the perfect situation right now.
But you are a broadcaster, a professional broadcaster. And I heard them talking about this on the afternoon show yesterday, and I couldn't agree more vehemently. Whether I get it right in the morning or you get it right or Sylvie or Waddle or Carm or Yerk or Bleck or Abdallah or a fan sitting at home doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Ryan Poles, your job is to get it right.
Oh, that's true.
Period.
Yeah.
Now, you left C.J. Stroud on the board. I think you made a very good trade. I'm glad DJ Moore's here. I'm glad we got the number 1 pick this year. All of that. You better get this right on the quarterback. Not because you're a fan of Justin, and Justin's our guy, and we can't be disloyal. No.
Can't get it right.
Your job is to get me a freaking franchise quarterback, whether that's drafting someone at number 1, whether that's finding a guy in the 6th round, whether it's Tyson Bagent, Justin Fields, or you.
Charlie.
Yeah, don't you think, like, I know they don't think in these simple of terms, but it's almost kind of, if he has the number 1 pick, it's almost as simple as Poles just being like, well, I might as well. Like I can, and so I will. I will add an extra 3 or 4 years to this thing because I can always say you need to give me time to figure out my quarterback. Like,
I don't think
give him
they
time
think
to develop
that way, Charlie.
I think the
don't.
number 1 job is job security.
I disagree.
For
He
NFL
got a 6-year deal.
Well, what Charlie said at the end there is true, though. I mean, you want to keep your job.
But
Job security does matter.
But number 1, you want to win football games, period. You want to be the guy that, wow, they just extended Poles. They gave him a huge contract. Well, yeah, he got you to the Super Bowl. That's what you're there for. And if, like, I don't buy into Justin's not his guy. I think that's garbage. Justin's a Bear. Ryan Poles checks say Chicago Bears. They're signed by George McCaskey the same way. And if he thinks Justin's the guy, he's riding with him.
But you understand when people say that, you know what people mean. Is that really your guy? Meaning you came in and Justin was already here. That was the talking point was, yes, Justin is a Bear and Poles is a Bear, but is he really your guy? That's a real ass question. Because when you say your guy, is he the guy for your future? Is this the guy that you're going to ride and die with? Will you keep your job or get fired because of this guy?
Well, you better get the decision right. Whether he's the guy you drafted, another guy you bring in, you better get the decision right.
Let's do Etch-a-Sketch. Let's just erase this whole thing. Let's just erase it. Okay. Now, I'm clearing the board. Ultimately, Cap, it comes down to this. This is talking about just the average Bear fan. If the Bears say we can part with Justin Fields and we're going to draft the quarterback of the future, if they are able to get that, Cap, how quickly can you get it turned? We like some of the moves that have been made. And again, a young quarterback tests the patience of the fan base because you've gone through this nonsense. You're 3-8. You tanked last year. How much time are you going to give this quarterback or this regime?
Who's the coach?
Well, that matters too.
Right.
See, all of this, there's so many different plates spinning in the air. If you say Fields, we could part with him. We've seen enough. Fine. Here comes Drake May. Here comes Caleb Williams. Now, who coaches them? And how quickly can he get it turned? Because, as I've always told you, the average fan listening to our show that just wants to dabble into this, all right, what's Cap and Jay talking about today? All right, are my Bears going to win? You know, and so that's the question. Are the Bears going to win? Yes, maybe, no. That's what the average fan wants to know. And if you have a young quarterback, how quickly can you get that turn?
Yeah, it's a great question. And if the quarterback is who you think he is when you draft him, there's a lot of talent on this roster now. I'm telling you, it's getting better, and you got a lot more draft capital and 90-some million in cap space. Some will be eaten up if you extend Jalen Johnson. You got plenty to get this thing where you could be a 10-win team next year. I truly believe that.
Shay?
Like, I'm just looking at this. I don't know what Ryan Poles is going to do come April. Frankly, I don't care. He's going to make his decision. He's going to do what he's going to do at the first-round pick. He's going to hire a coach. He's going to make those decisions, and we will talk about them when he makes them. But I'm looking at it today. Caleb Williams sucked the last 4 weeks. And dodging the media, not playing well. You had Drake May put 2 subpar games together the last 2 weeks. He was awful on Saturday against Clemson. Awful. Completed 44% of his passes, threw a pick, couldn't do anything down the field. He was terrible. And Justin Fields went out against a Super Bowl contending team and had one of the better games we've seen from him. Yeah. So I'm just sitting here going, right now, if I'm in the chair, is it Justin Fields or is it one of those two? And it's actually becoming a thought for me. 2 weeks ago, no question about it. I'm drafting a quarterback. But now, these two guys, you got Caleb ducking the media and May looking like trash against good defenses. Sure, he can dominate Campbell, but when he plays Clemson and things get a little real, we got problems. Wow. So now I'm sitting here and going, Justin Fields looked good on Sunday. Do I just stick with him?
But Cap is right in this regard. Like, is that a trend or is that just a one-off because you just came back after injury?
I don't know, and that we will have to see. That's right. I can only operate with what I've seen so far. Yeah. And it's just Fields looked good Sunday. Caleb Williams and Drake May stunk up the joint. I have to wonder today, what decision would I make?
Yeah, because inconsistency will get you to can make that decision pretty clear. Like, okay, we've seen enough of Justin Fields, we'll move on. With Caleb Williams, I'll just put this out here, Cap. As a young person, as an old person, we all make mistakes. I'm sure that's one of the key questions for any team when he goes in the draft. Hey, Caleb, you avoid the media. What was up with that? Could you explain why that was? And so for any young person, they can make that mistake. Hey, you know what? I should have met with the media. I was immature. Now, the immaturity, though, could make people around the league say, well, what's up with this guy? If we go through a situation, and more than likely we'll be in a situation that's a losing situation, will you duck the media then? In the NFL?
And what market are you in? You go to New York, Philly, Chicago, Boston. Oh, man. You're going to get your head ripped off.
That matters. So, but I'm not giving him a complete pass, but what I'm saying, Cap, is that young people make mistakes all the time. And if it comes across as he can't handle the pressure of losing, because let's make sure it's clear. USC is as good as any NFL market. That is LA's team, USC. Mm-hmm. So it is covered like a NFL team. The amount of media that covers USC,
agreed,
more than the Rams and Chargers.
Agreed.
So even with those bright lights in LA, you still should be answering the questions. That's excusable.
Agreed.
Through the good and bad, you got to be a leader in that spot.